What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another vintage Star Wars market update. We've got a nice wide array assortment for this video, including bootlegs. Lots of bootlegs sold this past weekend, so I want to take a look at those, and also some loose graded figures, as well as some mint on card items, both graded and ungraded. Just a nice wide assortment, and I want to say thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys allow me to make more and better videos. For those of you interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, it's patreon.com/actionfiguregrader. Let's dig right into some awesome items. And here's one that I was really curious to see what the final sales price would be, given that it was at auction. But this is a SW-B baggie for Luke Farm Boy. And it was graded AFA 85, old style case, but that is not one that you see come up very often at auction, and it sold for $943 plus $10 shipping, so about $950 took that home. Really gorgeous example of the Luke Farm Boy in a baggie, and one of the earlier baggies. So next up is this. I want to give a shout out to Blacked Out Ewoks over on YouTube. He mentioned this one to me in a private chat, and I had to include this in the market update. This was a gorgeous square or rectangle card Meccano Death Squad Commander, and look how beautiful this item is. It was graded yellowed 85 by UKG. It was unpunched, absolutely stunning. And what was cool about this is that it had a double blaster air. So the Death Squad Commander had a blaster in his hand, and there was also a second one accidentally packed in to that blister. The only Meccano square card I've got is the Jawa, but this was a just incredible item. Again, graded yellowed 85. Here's the back of the cards for those of you who've never seen them. And what's really cool about these is that it includes the blue snaggletooth on the back of the card, which you don't see very often, as well as a number of the other kind of play sets and electronic games and vehicles, things like that. But wow, what an incredible piece of collecting history here. And this one sold for 1,501 euros, which equates to about 1535 US. As a side note, if I haven't talked about this previously, the U.S. dollar's really strengthened against the euro, and it's almost a 1-for-1 now. So for those of you looking at overseas items, if you can stomach the expensive shipping to the U.S. sometimes using the global shipping program, at least the U.S. dollar is pretty strong against the euro now. It's about a 1-to-1 ratio. So, but anyway, what an incredible item, and I just had to throw that one in there. Okay, Collectibles Investment Brokerage, which of course is affiliated with AFA, they had a number of Boba Fetts that sold this weekend, and they were pretty incredible. This was the PvP light blue kind of tri-logo Boba Fett, and you can see how light the blue is on that one. This one had the unpainted Nishin and the unpainted dart, and just a little bit of wear around the visor there. A little bit of bleeding going on from the green around the neck piece down into the blue, as you can see. That's a very common defect, though. This one sold for $587. It was graded 80 by AFA, and you can see where it says Kenner/PvP, light blue, unpainted knee, European release. So these would appear on the Palatoy Tri logos, and I'm sure elsewhere, but just a really nice one there. Again, 587, that seems a little high, but you know, for a UKG 80%, for example, you're probably closer to 500 or less. We just documented one on the channel that sold in the 300s. So 587 just shows you, number one, that because it's CIB, that's a guaranteed sale. They know that they're going to get their item. They ship internationally, so a lot of collectors only collect AFA items, and those tend to command higher prices. So all of those factors played into why that price was a little bit higher. As high as that one was, though, this one was incredible. This was a light blue Taiwan Boba Fett, graded AFA 85. I believe this is a new sales price record. This one sold for $2,125 plus shipping. So here's the label on that one. Again, light blue painted head Taiwan. Very desirable figure, don't get me wrong, but I was thinking it would sell kind of in that $1,600 to $1,800 range. I do believe we documented one either earlier this year, or it might have even been last year, if memory serves, that was in the $1,800 or $1,900 range. It blew past that number, so it just shows you that the very ultra-wealthy, high-end collectors, there's no slowdown at all as of yet. And that is, I believe, a new sales price record for an AFA 85 painted Taiwan Boba Fett. A few 45 backs also sold at auction. None of these were graded, but and they all had yellow blisters. This was the Han Solo on the Star Wars Display Arena offer. Really nice. And for whatever reason, the 45 backs are known to have yellow blisters. It must have been something with the manufacturing process or something. But 45 backs in general, they tend to yellow a little bit easier than some of the other ESB card backs. But this one sold for $510 on 15 bids. And I had a few others here. We'll get back to those. I have these out of order. But before I get back to those, I want to show you guys a few bootlegs that sold. I don't cover bootlegs that much just because not a lot of bootlegs sell on eBay. But this seller, I don't even try to pronounce his name. He's located in Poland. I have bought from him before. I've bought some Luke X-Wings like this. I bought a first generation Boba Fett Polish bootleg from him. And he's a very trustworthy seller. And he ships out promptly. And the items arrive, within 10 to 15 days. And I was thinking about this one. This is a Luke Skywalker and his X-Wing palette with a kind of a bright green. I've got one already that's a dark green along with like 8 others. But this one sold for $135.50 plus $10 shipping. That's a pretty good price there, I think. This was a unique one. This is a General Lando static bootleg, Polish. These came out in like 1986, 87, somewhere in that ballpark. This one sold for $182.50. This is a pretty unique color combination. This is the first time I've seen the yellow rubber body for the General Lando Last 17 Polish bootleg. So $182.50 took that one. Another one I really liked because I still don't have a Polish bootleg Leia. I don't know why. Every time one comes up, I'm always tied up on other things or have spent my money elsewhere. But this was a really nice, so it's 1985 is how he lists them. 1985 is when the static bootlegs came out. There was a first kind of set and then a second set. And this Leia was part of the first set. And this one sold for $158.50. I think that's a great price. A little bit of nose rub on there, probably like 70 grade, but really nice, unique, bright blue color to that static Leia. I would have paid that all day long if I hadn't been tied up with some other projects. But here was another one that we talked about in my What to Buy video when it was listed for about $375. And clearly I was incorrect on what the market value was because he finally took it off the market and relisted it at auction, and it sold for $256.50. This is the Deluxe Series AT-AT driver. Very unique color combination, kind of a purplish gray body with gold paint accents. It included one of the 2 weapons that this figure was known to come with. He came with a blaster rifle, which is what this is right here. And it also came with a blaster pistol. Here's a good angle of the weapon. But this one included one of the 2 weapons plus the figure. Again, the figure is probably 60 or 70 gradish, but $256.50 took that one home in an auction. One of the other lines within the Polish bootleg line, the Ewoks are always known to be very expensive. They must not have been produced in much, in high numbers, but there's a Logray, there's a Wicket, and then a Chief Chirpa. And this Logray sold for $397 on 18 bids. And this one had a nice kind of reddish brown color with darker brown stripes. But all of the Ewoks within the Polish bootleg series were all static to my knowledge. And they all command really, really high prices. Finally, and certainly the most expensive, was a 3rd generation dark gray, light green armor Boba Fett with gold accents. I've got the lighter gray version. I did not have this darker gray version. Nice glossy limbs to it. This one has the Biker Scout limbs and just a really nice bright green color to it. Beautiful condition. And it sold for big money, $742 plus $10 shipping. I mean, 3 to 5 years ago, these were like 150, 200, maybe $300 max, and they've easily doubled in price. So, but these are the 3rd generation that kind of came out in 1994, 1995 timeframe. Also, one graded bootleg did sell. This was a CAS 85 grade Hungarian Wicket. It included the Hungarian weapon there, the spear. Really nice condition. These were articulated bootlegs, very fragile. They were made of a very fragile plastic. Beautifully encased, though, and graded 85. That one sold for $500 plus $695 shipping. And, I wanted to talk about some of these because I've had a number of collectors reach out to me on private message about these. They have like a really nice condition, loose figure, and then they have the card back. And they always ask me, does AFA grade these? And the answer is, to my knowledge, they do, but they encase the figure separately inside of a larger case, and it looks terrible, in my opinion. You're better off sending them to Collector Archive Services or maybe to UKG. But this is a 12-back with the Sand People loose graded. And they attach the weapon on the side of the case there. As you can see, this is a good angle here. And so what they do is they take the card back and they slide it between two pieces of plastic. And then that outer piece of plastic, they make like a little stand for the figure. And then they loose grade it with the card back. So this Sand People was loose graded 80 plus, but it was displayed with a beautiful condition card back. And this is a really nice way to do it. I've done this with a number of items, including the next one I'm getting ready to show you. But this one sold for $209.50 plus $20 shipping. That's a pretty good deal in my mind for a nice loose graded Sand People with the 12-back. And the 12-back was in excellent condition. You can see how clean that card back was. So that's an option if you wanted to do it. I think the price is around 80 bucks is what CAS charges for that. And UKG also does something similar to this, but I think the best in terms of these custom cases easily is CAS. And you can complain all you want about their turnaround times, but if you have kind of custom items like this, there's nobody better in the business right now at these custom displays. But just be aware, because of CAS's terrible turnaround times, that you're going to be waiting on it for 9 months or a year even. So they just take a long time with these custom displays, but they look amazing once they get done. And I've got an example, I've got a number of examples of this one. This is a Lily Letty card back displayed with the Lily Letty AT-ST driver. And again, this figure was known to come with a Black Palace blaster that was specific to the Lily Letty factory, and you can see how it's encased there on the side. I've got this exact item, and I've got this exact grade. So the figure was graded 75, displayed with the card back. This card back had some writing on it, unfortunately, from the child who was marking out some of the figures that he had. And that's common. But even this condition card back, it looks fantastic from the front, and it really displays nicely. And it's certainly a lot more affordable than if you tried to get a mint on card version of this figure. It would be like $2,000 or $3,000 easily, I would think, for a mint on card AT-ST driver Lily Letty. But that beautiful La Guerra de las Galaxias, El Regreso del Jedi. So it looks really nice. Looks really nice. So I've got this exact item, and this one sold for $331 on 52 bids. So if you've got a loose Lily Letty figure complete, and you have a card back, this is just a great option to give you that mint on card look. And I've got a number of these Lily Lettys just like this. So it's a great option, though, for those of you who have those. And I wanted to share that publicly because I've gotten so many questions about that from you guys. So send them to CAS, not to AFA. Going back to the 45 backs, here was a 45 back Boss yellowed blister. A little bit of damage around the hang tab there with a Toys R Us price sticker, but still a really nice example. That one sold for $406.99 on free shipping. And then here was a first 12 Han Solo on that same card back. Again, a yellowed blister. That one sold for $510. So again, I don't know why those 45 backs yellow so much, but they really do. Here was the yellowed IG-88 on a 47 back. It had quite a bit of damage above the hang tab. Again, that same Toys R Us price sticker, but pretty cool example for IG-88. That one sold for $360. That was a pretty good deal. And then I also had a couple of Palatoy Tri-Logo mint on card items that sold. This one is the Tri-Logo Wicket. It was unpunched with the KB Toys overstock price sticker of 2 for $1. It looked to be in pretty good condition overall. Here's the back of the card. A little bit of creasing down there at the bottom, but that's a really great deal. $153 plus $15 shipping for a mint on card Wicket unpunched that's in probably 80 grade condition. I wish I had bid on this now. I had it on my watch list. I got distracted as the auction was ending and I missed it, but that was a great deal. Whoever got that one, congratulations. This is another one I had in my what to buy video, and it did not last long. It sold very, very quickly after my video went up to one of my Patreon supporters, I assume. But this one is the Clipper unpunched 8D8 in probably 75 plus condition. That one was listed for $259 plus $29 shipping. This was in the Netherlands, and the best offer was accepted. So pretty good deal there. And another one that was in my eBay what to buy video. This one is a CAS 80 R2d2 pop-up Saber. It sat for about 3 days after the video went up, and it did sell for $699 plus $650 shipping. And again, yet another Droids Sise Fromm sold. This was ungraded, clear blister again. clearish anyway. But it had a little bit of litho damage increasing in the upper right-hand corner of the card back, unpunched. Another crease right there, but it seems like every week now another Sise Fromm is going on the market at auction, and I think it's because the price has jumped up so much. I mean, it's gone up like 60% in the last 3 to 5 months. So this one sold for $12.25 plus $20 shipping. It seems a little high to me, but you know, it is what it is these days with Sise Fromm. He's just a very high demand figure right now. And there's also I believe an AFA 80 example that's at auction at Hakes. So we will document that one, I'm sure, towards the end of the week. Another Droids figure that sold. This one was the R2d2 Pop, the R2d2 Pop-Up Saber Droids cartoon style figure, yellowed blister. It was punched, but in very, very clean condition overall. And that one sold for $1,500 plus $20 shipping. So you got to pay big money for that R2d2 Droids. And then finally, CIB also had this Droids Darth Vader lightsaber, and it was graded AFA 80, and that one sold for $938 plus $30 shipping. That's a pretty decent deal. We documented another one of these that sold at auction by CIB. They had the green and the red last time we talked about these, and it sold for about the same price. The green one tends to command a bigger price. That one sold for over $1,100, same grade last time, but this one was AFA 80, and the red lightsaber for the Droids packaging, and again it sold for $938 plus $30 shipping. So pretty surprising, pretty high prices for a number of these items, but there were a few deals to be had here and there, especially on some of those Polish bootlegs that sold at auction. I thought those were some great deals, so congrats to any of you that picked those up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.